Identification creates suffering. So this identification with the person, the identification with cause and effect, creates suffering. It sucks you in. It makes you feel like you are something solid, that it's inside this body, that you are a separate person looking out of the world. But actually there is nobody looking out of the world. There is nothing looking out of the world. There is simply everything. There isn't something here looking out at the world. And the relevance of this is that when you identify with that person, it creates this suffering. It creates this intensity, because as soon as you identify, you feel like you lose home. You feel like you've lost something, because your nature, your essence is expansive, is undefined, is no thing appearing as everything, which is huge, which is everything. And then when you identify, you become limited, and that always feels like you've got a stone in your shoe. It always feels like there's something not quite right. So then what the mind does is it begins to obsess and think about what it can do to get home, to get to that freedom that it kind of remembers from childhood. Like, what can I do to get there? What can I be? So then it begins to get into this hamster's ball of trying to find this in time. So it's trying to find it in something that does not exist, in imagination, in a future event. In something that's never here. You never get to the future. You never really achieve anything. It's all stories that you're telling yourself. And you're trying to get to a story of arrival. So even like buying a house is only a story now, actually. You never actually own a house. It's just contracts and ideas that you have that you own a house, and collective reality that society has. But actually you never own a house. Like anybody that has a house now, that owns a house, it doesn't actually feel like your house. It's like you have that feeling like somebody, like it's not your house, because it isn't your house. That's a story that you're retelling yourself. Just like if you're telling yourself I'm rich or I'm successful, it's a story that you're telling yourself. Right here, right now, you're not anything. You're just being, you just are. These stories are relevant to function in society, so I denigrate that to character. So these stories, like the ability to be able to communicate that you have a house, or that you have a computer, or that you've got a dog, or you have kids, or you've got to go shopping this evening, those all belong to this character, which you need to have a character in order to function in this society. Like if you didn't have a character, like somebody says, so where are you going tonight? Where do you live? So there needs to be this character that comes in and out and has the ability to communicate stories, and the ability to navigate this human society, which is all based on stories. Like our finance is a story. Like we made up how we do finance. Numbers is a story. Science is a story. Everything is stories. And that storytelling is an amazing way of being able to communicate things and being able to evolve, but they're not fact. We believe that our world is real. We believe that our stories are real. We believe that our society is real. We believe that that person is a good person, that person is a bad person, I'm this type of person, that person is rich, that person is this. Whereas actually we've just given things stories in order to navigate our environment. It doesn't mean they're true, but we need this character in order to contain these stories, and in order to be able to navigate its way around other instruments and this world. But in this moment, that's not who you are, and that's what's been forgotten. And this moment is all you ever have. So you could say that in every moment, who you truly are is nobody appearing as everything, nothing appearing as everything, nobody, which if you're not anything, if you're not a body, then by default that means that you're everything. And this is the part that's forgotten, and it's the part that most humans want to forget in a way, because the functioning of the human and of the mind is to always want to be something. Like it's scared, it's terrified of not being something. Like when I say that to you on the human level, the body is terrified, like I have to be something. I have to be special. I have to be grand. So the identity like always wants to generate itself and always wants to be something. So when the identity hears this story, which it is as well, or hears these concepts, it's also terrified. So this world works in apparent cause and effect. That's the way we tell our stories. Like we tell our stories in apparent cause and effect. So I drink water and then the body pees out the water. Like I hit my head, a lump grows. I plant a seed and water it, and then a seed grows up. Life form grows. So it appears in cause and effect, but it's not truth. And that's our difficulty as humans. We're always looking for things to be true and real and the way things are. Whereas actually what we're doing is we're creating a world through stories. We're creating a society through stories. We're creating rules through stories. We're creating science through stories. And we think that's reality. So what's beyond reality when we stop focusing on what we're thinking, on what we're telling ourselves? And what's beyond reality is this alive presence, this beingness that knows itself right here, that's free. Right now.